The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Good evening, Paul Cooney here tonight, along with Charlie Mulgrew, a Celtic legend, Mark Guidi, Scotland's #1 pundit, and a lifelong Celtic fan and one of Scotland's top entrepreneurs and business leaders, Lord Willie Hawkey. First of all, the exclusive, the Celtic news for tonight for the game with Stuttgart, 40 minutes away. And he has made changes, as you would expect. Sinisalo in goals. There's Donovan, Murray, Trusty and Sarachi. Callum McGregor plays the captain. Hatate and McGowan, Yang, Maeda and Adamu. Mark, what do you make of it? Are you surprised that he hasn't made more changes?
Slightly surprised there, Paul. I mean, I think the kind of headline for me is Sinisalo plays tonight. And, Sinisalo has a good game. You'd expect him to be busy in Stuttgart this evening. Then Sinisalo may well keep the gloves for Ibrox on Sunday for the big league showdown. Callum McGregor is in there, and he goes with it looks as though Adamo through the middle, Yang and Maeda as your two wide men. Very strong bench, but slightly surprised that Callum McGregor plays. I thought he'd be rested for Sunday.
Charlie, what do you make of it? We all realise just 3 days to go till Ibrox.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, with Mark, that I don't think McGregor should be playing. I don't think he should play the first leg. I think that he's so important in terms of he's physically capable, obviously, of playing a lot of games, but mentally to turn out for Celtic and win every game and feel that pressure of playing every week and carrying the kind of captain's armband, being that leader. I think he needs a rest mentally going to Ibrox. The fact that has not got it surprised. Well, not really surprised me because I know that Martin was probably looking, thinking he plays such a big part and there's nobody really to play that sort of deep line midfielder role to replace anywhere near half the ability of Callum. But it's good to see that there's a lot of other changes because Celtic really need to concentrate on domestic football at the moment.
Willie, what do you make of the lineup tonight?
Yeah, like the guys, I'm a bit surprised that, obviously I understand why Martin and Sean have went with so many changes with the big games coming up over the next couple of weeks, which probably are at the moment probably more important in regards to the score in the first leg. But I'm surprised to see Callum playing. I thought he'd have been the first guy, but maybe there's a plan to maybe take him off after 45 minutes. Probably knowing Callum, he's probably demanded that he wants to play, but hopefully he'll get the hook at half time.
He kind of hinted at that at the press conference yesterday. But Charlie, don't need to tell you, there's no such thing as a dead rubber for Celtic. 4-1 down is not what they expected it to be, and Martin O'Neill, it could be his last ever European game.
Yep. No, listen, it's going to be hard to come back. I don't think Celtic are going to come back tonight, but he's still turning out in a Celtic jersey. From a Callum McGregor point of view, he's a captain. He's leading that team out. It's not like you can just relax and treat it like a bounce game. Not that even a bounce games wouldn't be any pressure. There's pressure there for Callum McGregor. He's going to play a European game. They're 4-1 down. He needs to sort of get some sort of performance here. There's a lot of pressure there, and then he needs to go to Ibrox and churn out again on Sunday in an even bigger game. These games, I've said it before, Paul, this is a distraction. It's becoming European football is this year, the way things have went, European football has not been needed. The way Nancy coming in and everything that's happened with the disconnection between the fans and the board, I just think that Callum McGregor, last thing we need is him to get any sort of injury or definitely play tonight.
And yet, Willie, one of the business headlines today is that Celtic are one of the most profitable clubs in Europe. Looking at the figures from last season, 41 million, 43 million they took from the Champions League.
Yeah, and obviously this is the thing, it's when you read these headlines, these are the things that are kind of upsetting the fans. Yeah. It's a headline, it's a great headline, and being involved in the club in the past, it's great that we're financially stable. But I think this is the sort of thing, that headline today will get the fans even angrier, I'm afraid.
And obviously, there's no appetite for the Europa League this season. Everyone else is out. Celtic are still in, but there's no... disappointed, of course, last week, but they just want it out the way. One of the issues is that the fans are not happy with the board. We've heard everything, sack the board and all the rest of it. And tonight, you've joined us to give us some news that the Celtic fans would want to hear about.
Well, hopefully they will, because over the last few months I've been looking at what's been going on, and if you've not got harmony in a business, then you've got no chance. And I think some of the stuff has been a distraction over the past few months. And I'm not saying I don't agree with a lot of the things that the fans are that they're angry about, but I think that after last week and the fantastic atmosphere at the stadium and all that, for it to be killed in 2 minutes, I just think that at the moment, that I think that we need to come up with a better solution for how the fans can get a voice. And why I wanted to talk to you tonight is that I wanted to let the fans know that I'm going to look at setting something up, right? And I want to set up. I believe that the 54,000 season ticket holders are the core. They're a heartbeat of Celtic, and I'm going to set up a thing called the Season Ticket Alliance. And I want the 54,000 people, whether you're in corporate or whether you're in the director's box or wherever you are, you're in the seats, or you're you're sitting in the standing section, that I'm going to set up an office, a small secretariat. I will pay for it. I'm not looking for money off of anybody. And what I want to do is I want the 54,000 individuals. All we need is there'll be more details in the next few weeks, but all we need is either your email address or your mobile phone number, and then that you'll get a number. You'll be part of that Season Ticket Alliance. And what we'd like to do then is if thousands and thousands of people join this, then obviously these thousands and thousands of people between them have got some shares. Look at what sort of shares. I'm trying to get to get a system where the people can get a voice, but where we can talk to the club, sensibly, try and get things done. And what I'm offering is that this will be completely separate. I will have nothing to do with it. But for every 10,000 fans that join us, I will put £2 million in to buy shares for this trust. So if we take all the shares of the people who would join through the trust, and then if we add that to it, if everyone joins, there's 10 million. And they will be gifted to the trust. They'll not be owned by me. It's going to be separate for the trust. But I think that we have to get something that all the fans can get behind. Let's get harmony. Let's get the Green Brigade back in the stadium. Let's get everybody singing for the same hymn sheet. And then let's try and create a vehicle. And I've got an idea. I'm going to get a Celtic legend to front it. And I'm not going to confirm at the moment, but I've got that done. And then over the next few weeks, there'll be more and more details about how people can become part of this. And what we're hoping to do as the long-term play is to get enough people behind us here that we can go to the club and say, right, listen, look, this should be the vehicle for how the fans can get their viewpoint over to the club. And maybe we may end up with getting enough shares where we've got a voice, and maybe even potentially in years to come, get someone from the fan base onto the board.
And that would be over 10 million then, if 50,000
join.
And what do they have to do? All they have to do is join.
That's all. We don't want any money. We don't ever want any money.
Doesn't cost them?
It doesn't cost them anything. We'll set up the secretariat. They can join it. That's all they have to do, is to say that they're part of that. And if we get to 50,000, then for each 10,000, right, I will put. Now that's to be fair if we can buy shares, but I will certainly donate the £2 million. It's a donation. It's gone. I will not own the shares. It'll be in the trust. And we can use that going forward, so that maybe that one day that the other clubs have built fantastic fan base parts, owning part of the club, and it'd be brilliant if the legacy for this going forward is that the Celtic fan actually own quite a bit of the club.
Well, it's exclusive news tonight.
Yeah, but I want to make it clear. This is not. I've been a big Dermot Desmond fan.
Yeah.
This is not against anybody, not against anybody at all. This is trying to just bring harmony to get things working, and so hopefully we can have a solid base where we've got, the ability to sit down with the board and talk on behalf of the 54,000 fans that are there.
Have you spoken to the board yet, or to Dermot Desmond about this?
No, but I've let the board know that I'm going to do this. I've not spoken to Dermot Desmond about it, but I want to make it clear. I think what Dermot's done in the past 30 years has been phenomenal. We would not have had the success. I know that all the guys, I'm angry about the things that the guys are angry about at the moment, but I think that this may be a vehicle. And it might take us a wee while, but I think we could build something here that everybody would get behind, right? And I think that this is what the club needs more than anything.
Mark, your reaction to it?
Yeah, big news. Up to 10 or over £10 million potentially gifted to. So this is going to be called the Season Ticket Alliance Trust.
Yeah, so
Willie.
Stat Attack.
So that's going to be Stat Attack. Brilliant. Good. One question that immediately springs to mind, because right now they have the Celtic Collective.
Yes.
Are you working in conjunction with them?
Yeah.
Are they on board with you? Are you going to merge with them? How's that going to work?
Well, to be fair, I've spoke to some of the individuals within the collective, and to be fair, I've had good conversations with everybody that's represented in the collective. They're doing whatever they're doing. I just think that this gives something for people to think about. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of the 55,000 fans not in the collective, and I'm trying to bring everybody together, right? But this is all, let me make this clear. a season ticket holder who stands in the standing section will have the exact same rights as the guy that's in the corporate. So we're all individuals. We've all joined as individuals. It won't mean if I've got 350,000 shares and you've got no, you don't have any shares. You don't have any shares. But hopefully we can use this vehicle to maybe look at what other clubs have done. And once it's up and running, then if the people within it want to buy, we don't even know if shares are available to buy. Right, but if they are, at least we'll have a vehicle and we'll have the wherewithal to go and get them if they're there.
I mean, two other things, key as to what's going on just now. You want to bring the harmony back.
Yep.
You want the Green Brigade back in, and further down the line, perhaps someone from the stat on the board.
Yeah.
But how quickly can harmony get back, Wally? How quickly can you get the Green Brigade in? Because Celtic starting on Sunday, albeit they're away from home.
Yeah.
But there's 10 or 11 games to try and win a title.
I think that the club have been working with the Green Brigade. I think both parties are trying to get to a compromise to get people back. I think the sticking point may be a few individuals, right? So I think, and I've spoke to some of the guys there, and I know the Green Brigade, want to get back. So, again, they need to know that whatever the club are saying, here's the rules. But I would just like to get everybody back in the stadium. But then what happens is, the Green Brigade and other ultras, whatever, everybody gets, every time something happens, people get the blame, right? And I'm sure there's been cases when there is things that haven't been right? But I just think that this, setting up this body, and I know that David Loney's guys were talking about doing something as well, which, good luck to them, good luck to everybody. And I spoke to David today, but I'd like to think that this is maybe more all-encompassing than anything that's out there. So I'd love everybody in the collective to join it. Most of those guys will be season ticket holders anyway. But I think that here's a vehicle for everybody, right? And hopefully we will set up something that will be accepted by the club and appreciated by the club. End up getting a small committee. But I want to make clear, I don't want to be the chairman. I don't want to be the chairman of Celtic. I don't want to be the chairman of this.
We've heard that rumour.
No, 100%. Let's kill that right away. Yeah. And I don't even want to be the chairman of the Stat Attack. Yeah. Right. So what I want is to get, what we need is young blood, and we need young blood everywhere, right? So and in the club and in the management, we need young blood. So I think that this vehicle is something that everybody hopefully can coalesce behind. And I'm sure there'll be some people that think to say that's fine, no problem with that. But I think that, if anyone in the collective, anybody in the ultras, the boys, the season ticket holders, the corporate, everybody is welcome to join this, but they're all as individuals. Then we'll set up a wee committee. We'll get them to pick that. We'll get a legend to front it, right? Which I'm not going to announce it, but I've got it sorted.
If we give you names,
right?
no.
Henrik Larsson.
No. I says a legend.
He meant that about Charlie.
Well,
he just get Henrik Larsson in right.
See the 10 million sort of. If 50,000 people sign up, there's 10 million. Then how many shares, if there was shares available, do you think that would get?
I don't even think 10 million today would get you that many shares, but I think the 55,000 between them, right, would have loads of shares. So if they want to proxy into this, so I think there's a good chance you could get to 10 or 15% of the club. So this is not trying to take over. You never get near what Dermot's got.
But still a decent percentage.
No, it is. It should give you enough to have a say, and hopefully that the club will recognise that and say, right, okay, this is a vehicle that we can, talk to the people here. They can come in for a meeting. But what we should do, what I'm hoping it does more than anything, I'm going to be honest about it, that we get our grievances behind doors. Yeah. Hopefully the people there can feed. The great thing about it, 54,000 people feed in their complaints and what they want to do. No, we'll have a secretariat there, 2 or 3 people working in the office, pull it all together, and then we'll use AI, right? Like if 24,000 people complain about the same thing, we don't need to go through 24,000 emails. We can. So hopefully from that the club will get honest feedback as to the things that we need to do, right? About
and was it the tennis ball protest last week? You thought enough because something needed to happen.
Yeah, I just thought that the tactics of that was, I've got to be honest. See, whoever thinks disruption and boycott is an answer, they don't know what the club's all about, right? If that's what they think, honestly, that, whatever you want to do, I would say, here's what I would say to you, the game before it, 50,000 people stood up and chanted, whatever they think about the board. So I would have thought that was a better move. If that's what your aim is, That's 100 times better than throwing tennis balls on the pitch. And I don't even want to see that. I want to stay. Listen to what the fans have got to say, and we just want the best for the club. But so many people have approached me that they were looking for a vehicle, to try and get their message across to the club. I just thought, and I've got to be honest with you, I thought about this long and hard. I've been going to do it. I've not been going to do it. I've been going to do it. Why would you bother? Right? In fact, I can tell you, I haven't discussed it with anybody, or I probably wouldn't be doing it.
Have you checked with Susan?
No, or certainly no check with Kenny. Right? So I think that for this, I think that this is something worth doing. I've said many times before that when I've been asked, I got involved with the club the last time where they're in trouble, and I've always said I would get involved if they're in trouble again. And I just think at the moment the disharmony for me is trouble, and I'm just trying to come up with a solution to try and fix that. And that sums up exactly what this is all about: try to get harmony and a voice.
Mark,
I was going two questions. Well, you obviously know a lot of the Celtic boards. You're there. You've worked with them. You're friends with them. You're obviously aware of a lot of the Celtic fans, the collective.
Yeah.
Is there genuinely a willingness from both parties to sort this out quickly?
I think in the Green Brigade situation, yes, there's been good, there's been good progress made. I think after the European campaign's over, hopefully, I've not been involved in that. I know some of the ins and outs of what's going on. I've spoke to both parties, and I'd like to think that there's a way that in the next few weeks, hopefully, that we can, that common sense will prevail, and we can get back to harmony in the stadium.
For me, it looks, well, because these talks have been going on for months and months. Michael Nicholson's been involved, Brian Wilson's been involved, Peter Lawwell's been involved. To me, it looks like a mediator is required, a middleman that's got the respect of both sides. Would you a middleman if you were asked to broker a proper peace deal?
Before I would say for what I know, I actually think it needs more than that, because I think there's some real stumbling blocks, right? And I think it's all down. Let's be honest, it's all down to maybe some individuals that are. It's not the Green Brigade in the total. It's some individuals, right? And I think that the chairman has spoke to and I've spoke to him as well, right? So be honest about it. But I think that hopefully over the next few weeks, that they can progress that and they can find a way of getting them, back in. And here's what I would say. Here's what I would say to the club. They're at every game, right? So this is for nothing, right? So let's get a deal done so that it's official that they're back in the stadium.
and if Dermot Desmond likes the sound of it, because you've always praised him, Willie, and that's not a popular thing to say these days. No. It's easy to say he's not putting any money in. What's he doing for the club? You've always praised him. Can you have? This is a bridge that they need. Let's hope he looks at it and thinks this is good for the club.
Well, what I would say is it's a wee bit like the political situation at the moment, right? See if some of the things that are happening that the club are not happy about at the moment, right? So if they weren't happen and the fans were taking it, what would they think? Would they think things were all right when you're third in the league? Right? What would the board think? What would Dermot think? I mean, Dermot's a winner. He's been a winner all his life, right? So I think there's just a better way of saying, listen, what we're basically saying is, look, things have been brilliant for 25 years, right? It looks a wee bit over the past, well, we might have dropped the ball a wee bit. And the club have come out and says, look, we got that wrong, right? And all we're saying is, look, we want you to look at broader, like why we think we've dropped the ball. Yeah. What are we doing? Right now, for me as a fan, that we had an opportunity there in the window to bring in players. And it looked as if we used the same old system to bring in those players. I think most fans watching the game will see that what we're seeing at the moment, none of them have enhanced what we needed. Right? That's not me having a go, it's just a fact. And what I would say to Dermot and Ross and the guys is just listen to what the guys are saying, because a lot of it is spot on. Right? So, and that's why they're angry. What they're angry about is they don't think MD's listening. Right? And I think that I would say at the moment that I've said this privately, I'm going to say it publicly, all our problems in the last 18 months is all came from one thing: bad recruitment. Right? That's what's wrong in the club. So we don't need to shout for people's heads. We don't need to shout for people. I'm not doing that. But what we do need to look at please listen to us. Let's go from the ridiculous to the sublime when it comes to recruitment.
I wonder if it's changed, because in the last 25 years, the recruitment's been really good at times. When you look at some of the signings that have came and went and went for millions.
But others have improved. Look at Tony Bloom at Hearts. Look at Motherwell, what they're doing there on a much lower budget.
Charlie, it's dead simple. We got one thing wrong. Paul Tilsdale.
Aye.
It's there. I mean, that's no having a go. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
So if you look at before, right, we had a real go at Peter's son.
Yeah.
Look at the signings. Right, but we want to bring him back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right, when you look at the people that he was involved. So sometimes you've got to watch, but there's no doubt now, and eventually the club thought the same. But it's okay, you can make mistakes, right? But what you do after that is, and Dermot's been good at this, right? Dermot got Martin, Dermot got Brendan twice. So all we're saying is there's one message for everybody. I know I can say this just now without getting 54,000 emails. What are we doing about recruitment?
Yeah.
We've just spent a lot of money in the new academy, all the things we're doing. Just demonstrate to us that we've got our act together when it comes to recruitment.
Wow. How are you feeling about it? Now that you've said it publicly, and that might be...
No, I've said about it, I don't need to think about it anymore, what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But no doubt the phone will be ringing off the hook.
Yep.
And I hope that, I have shared it I've not shared it with them, but I shared with the board. I didn't want it to be a surprise for them.
What was the reaction?
No, it was. I would just say that it was kind of wee bit of disbelief, right? But there was no angst. There was no angst. But I want to make this clear. This is a separate entity, right? This is not a poodle for the board, right? This will stand on its own 2 feet. It's separate. It will not be fun. But the easiest thing for me to do this with the club is say, that's great, geez the database. I'm not doing that. Right? I want the 54,000 people to get in touch with us directly.
Well, see, if you're not a season ticket holder for whatever reason, but you're a shareholder, a small shareholder, can you still be part of this with you?
Yes, and I was going to say, I didn't want to confuse people by saying that will be phase 2. So anybody that's a Celtic fan, if you're not lucky enough to be a season ticket holder and you want to join, delighted to have you. It would be brilliant if the whole diaspora was part of that. But because it's called the Season Ticket Alliance, that's just the name. I've been, the Celtic voice, everything else, all come up with names. And we might actually end up changing the name because somebody who joins us who's smarter than me comes up with a better name.
And who knows down the track in the days of, Middle Eastern involvement, American involvement, not least at Rangers and elsewhere, maybe someday it's the trust that could own the majority shareholding in the future.
That'd be phenomenal. And the great thing about that is that if they do, then you understand that the club will be as successful as you want it to be, right? And there's a great example. What you mentioned earlier about Tony Bloom.
Yep.
Right? They wouldn't be talking about Tony Bloom if it wasn't for the Hearts Trust. Right?
Exactly.
And stepping in,
right,
doing
budge,
great, putting the money up, the guys buying it. But what they've done there is phenomenal. And that could be a blueprint for maybe in the future. I think it would be very, very difficult because of the value of the club, which is a great thing, and it'll be even more valuable after today's results, is that I think that the fans can only dream about owning a part of the club. I don't think they'll ever own half of the club even, but at least this gives them a voice and it gives them a bit of respectability, and hopefully it will give the ultimate goal in this would hopefully be maybe in 3 or 4 or 5 years' time there was a representative of the trust that was on the board, and I understand how the board works. So because you've got to sign all sorts of forms and ND, all that kind of stuff, it might be that the representative of the board is in to talk about the wee football bit at the start and leaves when they go to talk about business. That's what you can do. So we've, hopefully I'm not too far ahead with that bit of the plan, but hopefully that would be the dream.
Huge news for the Celtic fans and others listening in tonight ahead of the game. I know you're off now to watch it.
And anybody that owe money to, I'm sorry, that money's earmarked for this.
Great call.
I want to know who the legend is now. I can't stop thinking about him.
Mark, big news tonight. It's good news.
I'll tell you off the mic.
Badly needed. I think if you're part of the Celtic board, what Willie has announced tonight is an absolute gift, and I'm not talking about financially. This is a gift for the Celtic board to go and get things back working properly between the relationship with the fans and off the park as well. As Willie said, the key to it all being recruitment. Because you look at the recruitment last month, Paul, I'd be very surprised if Celtic get any of their first choice targets. Nothing against the guys that they've brought in, but not up to the standard required.
Lord Willie, thank you so much for coming in tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
An exclusive on the Go Radio Football Show. We're back after this.
Radio Show with Burger King.
Well, I didn't know what was coming up there. Willie said he was coming in. Mark, you summarised it well. So for every 10,000 fans who have season tickets, you'll put in £2 million if they join the Season Ticket Alliance Trust, all to try and get that the needed bridge between the fans and the club. He's mentioned it to the directors, and hopefully it'll be welcomed by the club and people. It's not going to cost them to be involved in this, to get a voice, one voice, to try and get the Green Brigade back in as well, and many other things that have troubled the Celtic fans. But you heard them at the end. It's down to recruitment. Everyone can see how poor it's been.
Yeah, I think the 2 million for every 10,000, that could happen pretty quick. I mean, that could happen within 24 hours. Paul, in terms of over 50,000 joining. For me, the here and now is about getting supporters back in and a relationship starting again, because it's as low as it's ever been. We were around, Paul, more than 30 years ago, before Fergus McCann came out. I think this is worse in terms of relationships now between the fans and the board. So Willie is trying to do something to bridge that gap. He's in dialogue with the board. He's in dialogue with the various Celtic sections, Celtic Collective, Green Brigade. So hopefully something could be done with that pretty quickly, because Celtic have got a title on the line. And then with Willie's business know-how and how he can go about it, he's got Dermot Desmond's ear. But it's really good news for everyone concerned with Celtic. But, Willie's not got a magic wand either. There's got to be a proper willingness between the board and the supporters to come together and move forward together for the benefit of the club, not for the benefit of personal agendas. Everybody getting together, as Willie has done tonight. He's doing this for the benefit of Celtic Football Club.
Back to it in a moment or two. I'll give you the Celtic team at the top of the programme. A few changes tonight. Rangers fans, Leon King, you haven't seen him at all for some time. He could be on his way to Hearts on loan. He's currently on loan at Ayr United. Charlie, he's a more than decent defender, isn't he, Leon King, who sometimes was thrown in for Rangers in Europe last season.
He is, Paul, and players like that who come through the youth system, playing at all Scotland at all levels, really highly regarded at his age group. Plays Champions League football for Rangers at one stage. I think he played. These players' ability just doesn't disappear. It's sometimes the confidence, the mental strength. Have they got the strength to maybe have a couple of setbacks and come back? So it's good to hear that the boys start. Obviously, he's playing away at Ayr United. Maybe had to take a wee step back and then to go forward and potentially go to Hearts. That tells you that he's showing up potentially in the analytics of the Hearts Jamestown analytics stuff. So really good player. Potentially no massive as a centre back, but somebody who can compete in there and is very good on the ground with football as well. So good player, Paul.
For Rangers fans, they'll be sitting back tonight just waiting for the game on Sunday. It's a funny situation. We're going to talk mainly Celtic tonight. We can see quite a few thousand Celtic fans over there for the game with Stuttgart. We're 4-1 down. The team is Sinisalo, Donovan, Murray, Trusty and Sarachi. Trusty, of course, playing his last game for some time, unless Celtic go through in Europe. McGregor, Hatate, McCowan, Yang, Maeda and Adama. I'll give you the bench in a moment or two. But for Rangers fans, what are you thinking ahead of the game on Sunday? Are they going to go two up front?
Yeah, I think Danny Rose found his best formation with Rangers. What he done against Hearts when he played the four at the back. He played a midfield four, but with the two wingers inverting to become like a midfield sort of box with two strikers. Very similar to the way Motherwell play. And I think Danny Rose didn't like the personnel when he arrived at Rangers. It was clear to see he didn't think the money was spent well, 20 odd million. He then gets his window, signs Olsen, Chikwani, Romans,
Scovolson,
Nadiri. So now he's got these players in the team. We said on here before, he needs to get his players in the team. He's done it against Hearts, got the four of them in. They go and win comfortably, probably their best performance so far this season. And then I think he needs to then go back to that on Sunday, get that team in the pitch. And if that team's in the pitch, I do worry for Celtic. I don't know if Nadiri's fit, but for me, Celtic right now are a wee bit stuck between two styles. I get the feeling that Martin O'Neill's gut feeling is, having been a young player when he was a manager first time round, Martin O'Neill's very simple things well, keep it simple. And I feel like Sean Maloney isn't that type of coach. He's more of in the Pep Guardiola sort of total football mode. And I feel like I'm seeing a wee bit of a mix in styles. I don't think the squad's great, to be honest with you. And I think that, it's going to be a difficult game Sunday. Starting tonight, coming out of there with some sort of confidence still intact.
Yeah.
Even though it's a team that there's a lot of changes being made. This Celtic team will be judged on tonight. People are going to say, it's a reserve team, it's fine. You are judged. That team's going to take the hit tonight and hopefully have enough confidence on Sunday to go to Ibrox and get something for the game. But I think Rangers are clear favourites.
Mark, what are you thinking? Rangers first of all, because obviously there'll be a lot of Celtic. We'll have the teams will be out in just 3 or 4 minutes time. For Rangers, do you think it's going to be 2 up front? They must go in with massive confidence for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Danny Rule, you'll know what he changed too much in terms of what you got at home to Hearts. It's going to be a similar type of game, a real atmosphere inside the stadium. So I think you're needing your main sort of players. I would go with like Tavernier. Also, I think Sterling might be struggling with injury. So you certainly go with like say your Taverniers in the team. I would go the 2 up top if it's available. Nadiri and Chermiti, who caused Hearts problem. Skov Olsen certainly has the ability. I'm a wee bit disappointed in him to be honest, but he did get, he's had a couple assists. He's got his goal. So I think very much I agree with Charlie. Rangers favourites for the game for me, on the front foot, because the onus is more on them. I explained all this on Tuesday, to win the game. It's their home game, and if Hearts win on Saturday at home to Aberdeen, which they expect, the title's not in Rangers' hands. They need a favour. They need to beat Celtic on Sunday. Paul, if I'm Celtic with that in mind, I'm going a back 5. Right. I'm going a 5-3-1-1. Like I said, if Sinisalo plays well tonight, I think there's every chance he could keep the clubs. But Sinisalo or Schmeichel, I'd go a back 5 with 2 wing backs, defensive wing backs, Arujo and Sarachi, right and left. Centre half, left centre half, Tierney. Men's centre half, Scales. And if young Dane Murray plays well tonight, keep him in. If he has a wobble or two, then you go to Benjamin Arthur, the young lad on loan from Brentford. My 3 midfielders would obviously be Callum McGregor, the captain, Oxlade-Chamberlain, his experience, his threat, and Hatate. I know he's been off the boil, but he's played at Isaac before and he knows what it's about. And I'd have Nygren, but I'd probably go with Maeda up front just because of his busyness and his energy. However, Iheanacho is the best number 9 at the club. You know, Charlie, if you're under the cosh, you want to get up your centre forward, you want it to stick up there, get your shape, get your breath back. Iheanacho's the best of that. We just don't know if he's got the engine to even give you 45 minutes, never mind an hour. So that's the 1 or 2 decisions. I've no idea. But I think if Martin O'Neill, if you to say to Martin O'Neill right now, whether Celtic win, draw or lose tonight in Stuttgart, if you say to him just now, a draw at Ibrox and 3 points at Pittodrie, 4 points out the next 6, will you take that? I think he'd bite your hand off for it.
Quick break and then we're back. The teams will be out. We'll get Charlie's reaction to how Celtic might play on Sunday. And what about Rangers as well? That's all coming in a moment.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
And here come the teams. We're not live from Stuttgart, but we're live from the Gorbals. Paul Cooney with the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Well, that was quite a first half hour there. Willie Hockey revealing his plan to have a trust. I will tell you more about it. You heard it probably in the first half hour, Mark Guidi. It's more than a headline. It's a chance for, if Celtic agree to this with the major shareholder and the directors, to see a way forward to get the club back. And at the heart of it is to improve the recruitment at the club as well, which is what we heard. Anyway, the team for tonight: Sinisalo is back, Donovan, Murray, Trusty and Sarachi, McGregor, the captain, Hatate and McCowan, Yang, Maeda and Adamu as they come out and they line up there for the Europa League music. Schmeichel in goals, Scales, this is on the bench, Scales, Nygren, Chavanchara, Tanekti, Bernardo, Forrest, McCardle, Iheanacho, Hatton, Ralston and Tierney. So, Charlie, Callum McGregor, we touched on it briefly earlier. Surprised that the captain is there leading them out?
Well, I'm not surprised, but I was hoping that he would be rested. I wouldn't even have took him to Germany, to be honest, Paul, with travelling and everything and having to turn out again. And I know Callum probably wants to play and he's very robust, never injured, probably because of the amount he does play. He's sort of got the strength in his legs. The way he lives his life obviously is good, but he's not a robot. You can't keep churning out as Celtic captain, putting on performances, dealing with the pressure of the weight of the full club and the fan base on your shoulders, trying to win games every single game for Celtic. It's impossible, especially a season like this season, the way it's went, with Nancy coming in, the recruitment being very poor, Martin O'Neill in his second spell try to get a gallop at the team as well. I don't think Callum McGregor should have been played tonight, although it's not surprised me because Martin O'Neill probably looks at the squad and says, well, who else can actually do that job? Bernardo, would you trust him to step in their number 6 role, dictate play?
They tried him last week.
Tried him. No, I don't think so. I can half understand why he's done it, although I wouldn't even have played him the first leg. There you go. I'd have left him out of the European stuff and kept him fresh for domestic, because this year, the way things have went, domestic football is really important.
Martin O'Neill spoke last night about preparations for the game.
Yeah, well, the preparations have been absolutely fine. Everybody except Julian, I think, have travelled with us. And so we'll make decisions on the team tomorrow. But so we're looking forward to the game. And I think that we've got some travelling fans coming here who've spent some money. And therefore we owe it to them.
Mark, just seeing the pictures on TNT Sport there. You and I were in the stadium, 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
It's magnificent.
Yeah, it's a great arena. 23 years ago, Paul, my goodness.
Wow.
Really good arena. And I remember Bonnie Tyler.
That's right. Yeah.
Halftime entertainment, total eclipse of the heart, the old Welsh songstress. And Celtic got a great result that night. Look, I don't hold out any hope for Celtic today. I know Stuttgart, obviously they've got one eye, trying to get into the top 4 or stay in the top 4 of the Bundesliga. But for Celtic, particularly somebody like Callum McGregor, just get in and out of there unscathed and get ready for Sunday.
So 23, it's mad to think 23 years ago. So was the second leg away from home?
Yes.
So the first leg, I worked at it as a young player.
3-1 Celtic first leg.
16-year-old cleaning the boots. And,
No.
Yeah.
Really? Honestly.
And Martin O'Neill was the manager. If somebody told me 23 years later Martin O'Neill would still be the Celtic manager, I'd have been amazed. Mental. But I remember one thing that sticks out for me is every Stuttgart player had the same type of boot on, which is very unusual. Puma. Responsible. I was obsessed with boots, obviously being a young player.
Did you like the Pumas?
I liked them, but I couldn't believe the team were all wearing, because obviously every other team just wears whatever their own sponsor is, but they all stuck to this Puma.
What was your favourite deodorant? Was it Puma? No, was it Adidas?
I played my best stuff in my Timberlands.
As the game kicks off, Celtic, Mark, are playing in a black strip with some green piping and playing right to left.
That's not black, is it?
Is it? That looks like it. What colour do you think it is?
Black.
Yeah.
Black.
I would say so,
black
Charlie.
away strip.
You might be right. Maybe that's my eyesight, Paul. Sorry, I'm
There's a chance for Celtic.
Chance.
They're in.
Celtic on the charge right away. And a goal.
Oh my goodness.
Celtic go 1 up.
What a goal.
And it's Luke McCowan. Wow, Celtic are up in about
31 seconds. Wow. 31 seconds of the clock. And what a beautiful finish. Lovely left foot. Just placed it nice into the corner. They split the Stuttgart defence wide open. You see there the Stuttgart head coach Seb Hoonis looking far from happy. But that's a fantastic goal from Celtic. What a start. Brilliant goal. Luke McCowan, 31 seconds. Stuttgart 0, Celtic 1.
It's a great bit of play there. Great play down the right hand side, fired into Adamu. Great first touch, lays it into the path of McCowan. What a finish that is for McCowan. Opens up his body with his left foot. Great touch for Adamu. Slides him in, opens up his left foot. Far away corner. Beautiful. Great start.
And a fast start, Charlie. Yang did well.
Yeah, Yang did well. Yeah, great ball in. Callum McGregor knocks it wide, goes inside. Yeah, Yang played his part as well. It was a really good goal. Great start.
I mean, it's great. I mean, they need to score 3, which is a tall. Do you know? But it would just be annoying, like not conceding that 4th goal the other night, Paul. You know that way you think, God,
exactly what I was going to
if
say.
you're 3-1, then we just need one more goal. Just need one more goal. But look, if they can come here with any kind of victory, come away, from Stuttgart with any kind of victory, what a boost it would give them ahead of Sunday.
The thing is, though, Mark, like, see if Celtic do go through here, although in years gone by it would be a great thing, I just think it hinders the domestic football. I don't think Celtic in their wildest dreams could have a run in this competition this year. That's my opinion. I don't think with that squad Celtic somehow happened to get through here. For me, it's just more distractions. I don't think there's any way that Celtic are going to have a right good run where you think, right, let's sacrifice domestic football and get a run here to the final. I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. So it's just about getting a respectable performance here and sort of, I don't think going through would be would be a good thing for Celtic.
That's
in
it.
all honesty.
I know what you're saying, Charlie. I get you're kind of saying just win 2-0, but not enough to go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
But if they did go through, it would have to be one of the greatest results in the
Yeah.
club's history
Exactly.
to overturn
Yeah.
a 3-goal
Yeah.
deficit.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be some result. I mean, I still don't think it will happen, but it would be an unbelievable result. It would be like, how many times has this man stepped up and sort
Absolutely.
of
Yep.
produced something when nobody's gave them a prayer?
They did well against Bologna not long ago as well. You never
Yeah.
know. Feyenoord.
Feyenoord was a big one, remember?
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Nobody gave
No.
them a prayer.
So James and Gary are just checking flights to Istanbul, but as I speak, there's a chance here for Stuttgart, but it's way over the top. So Sinisala is offside anyway. So listen, you never know. Charlie, I was just thinking that. I was about to say, what's your prediction tonight? I was going to say it's almost, it doesn't really matter, but it does now. Maybe
I did fancy Celtic to take the lead early, Paul.
Yeah.
31
seconds. You'd written down 35 seconds. You're a disgrace.
But I did get McCowan, although I put a Maeda assist. But anyway, look what a position they've put themselves in. It's great, and even a victory, every wee point in the coefficient can count as well. Still a hell of a tall order. But what a chance they've given themselves to go and do that. It's fantastic.
And we need a bit of good news, don't we, for Scottish football in Europe, because it's been another abysmal season for Scotland. Not least, Kairat Almaty might have a chance. Right over the top. And listen, he's been amazing, but how it would have been so different. And tonight you get Willie Hockey on saying, right, I'm going to try and build here. I'll put what could be 10, 12 million pounds. I mean, how did this all happen on the day when it's announced they're one of the most profitable clubs in Europe? But that's last season's figures, Charlie. So,
well, hopefully a result here and a performance might kickstart the last bit of the season for Celtic, because they need performances to. There's another good chance.
Here they come again. Great chance for Maeda there. Yeah. What happened, Charlie? Good
ball
early
across
ball.
there. Early ball across. I think it was Adamu who crossed it again, and Maeda's great. Does he miss it? He swings and misses it. It's a right good chance.
Mark.
He should have made contact there. It was a good ball, and he's only 4 yards out. If he hits the target, real good chance of scoring.
If Celtic score again, you'd say they're rattled. But look, the Germans are usually so calm, so composed. But they drew at Hoffenheim at the weekend at the other end of the table. So, I keep saying they're not Bayern Munich. Maybe Celtic made them look like that last year. But Charlie, Mark is on a different mark saying it's just a year ago when they went toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich. So there's such a blanket of discontent.
Yeah, there is. It's amazing how quickly things can change in football, Paul. I mean, the recruitment, Willie Hockey mentioned how that has affected things. It's been really, really poor this year. Big part Paul Tidsdale to play in that.
But Brendan called it.
Yeah.
Brendan called it in the summer. He called it, and the level of criticism that he took for it. I'm not saying that Brendan Rodgers was perfect, but he called it the standard of player coming in, the standard of player that was sold, which is fine. It's a selling club, I get that, but they're not bringing in replacing. It's always tough to replace like for like if you're selling a top quality player. But he called it. The writing was on the wall, and we talk about Bayern Munich, Paul, and it was a great 2 legs from Celtic. But over the course of the calendar year 2025, Celtic were average, lost the Scottish Cup final.
Yeah.
Didn't beat Rangers in the league.
Yep.
Still to beat the last time they beat them September 2024 in the league. Knocked out by Kairat Almaty. A shocking summer transfer window. Absolutely shocking summer transfer window.
And players who thought they were leaving, who had served well, then had to stay.
The manager resigns, and that the writing was on the wall for that for 2 or 3 months. You bring in Martin O'Neill, he gets the place going, he gets the place buzzing, and you sack him after 7 wins out of 8 to bring him in with a guy who will go down as the worst manager in Celtic's history. Sacked after 9 games, was it? 8 games, whatever it was.
Yeah,
and 6 defeats in there. Sorry.
Yeah, he did. He did call it Brendan Rodgers, but also Brendan, I think, was looking after Brendan Rodgers as well. I think he was probably trying to work his way towards
do you think,
Saudi.
Charlie?
Yeah, I think he was.
But he said he wouldn't go unless he was emptied.
Which I believed at the time, Paul. But I think history shows with Brendan Rodgers, he looks after himself, and I don't think he could maybe see that the recruitment wasn't great, or Paul Tisdale wasn't doing a great job, but I still think the squad was good enough to do better than they did against Kairat.
Kairat. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Charlie McGregor, along with Mark Guidi and Paul Cooney in the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. 7.5 minutes gone. Stuttgart 0, Celtic 1. So it's 4-2 to the Germans so far. Rangers looking for some news at the moment. It's quite quiet at the moment ahead of the game on Sunday. It certainly won't be quiet there. As Celtic come forward, Charlie down the right, ball in, and they've won a corner.
It's a great start. Adamu's made some brilliant movements and down the channels and creating havoc with his movement, and they're finding him in good areas. So he's got a smile on his face. He's happy the way he started.
The fans are enjoying it as well, as we see there, Mark.
Yeah, no protests, no tennis balls, just supporting the team.
Sack the Go Radio Football Show.
It's mad because I spoke to somebody that was at the game last week, and they couldn't believe the atmosphere compared to. He took his mate who'd never been to a Celtic game to show him a European night, and he
Pre-match was good though, wasn't it? Until
it
that
started
first
well,
minute.
and then that first bit happens.
Here's the corner kick, Mark, into the box, left footed, but it's headed away. As Celtic still come forward, Callum McGregor plays it out to the right. We're watching on TNT Sports, plays it into the box. Celtic looking good, but I think it's going to be, it's a corner. Yeah, well spotted.
Another corner.
Eagle Eye Guidi.
Nine minutes on the clock. Celtic 1 goal up, 31 seconds. Luke McCown, a beautiful left foot finish, 16 yards out. And let's be honest, we haven't seen Sinisalo yet. Celtic have got Stuttgart on the ropes.
Yep.
Quite amazing, isn't it? I never seen it going like this. We're only 9 minutes in, right enough, but Celtic, this is the type of start that I wanted. Maybe a couple of changes is freshen things up. Players really get a point to prove and hungry to get that in the team and potentially start. And that's the thing about this as well, Paul. When you make changes, it doesn't mean that these players won't start on Sunday. These players have got a chance to then showcase themselves. McCown will be thinking there's places up for grabs ahead of Atati.
That's it, sure.
Of
course.
There's places up. Adamu will be thinking, right, well, there's striker is an area where it's not been perfect. Everybody's got a chance.
There's a goalkeeping position up for grabs. There's a centre half positions up for grabs. There's a centre midfield position up for grabs, and there's a centre forward position up for grabs. There's 4 positions up for grabs between tonight going into Sunday.
Yep, and whoever's want to take them, you can sort of see they've had that hint or they get that feeling that there's a chance of that. Adamu certainly, I know, just shinned one out the pitch there, but that's his first bad touch. He started really well. McCowan scored a goal. I've yet to see Atati right enough, but McGregor started quite well.
Is he on? Yeah.
Atati's
I know
on the
he is,
far
but
guy, but he's I mean, he needs to step up. He needs to show that he's got a bit of hunger about him. He's just, I don't know, his mind's not in it for whatever reason.
Martin O'Neill was asked yesterday about he's going to play a week inside. We'll just hold as the Stuttgart forwards come charging down the right, being shepherded there, and Callum McGregor back. I mean, I know the ground he covers, Charlie. I can see your eyebrow going up because you don't want to see him.
It's the stuff he probably doesn't get credit for, Paul. He's in the left back area defending, covering for somebody who's not in their position, and people talk about his legs going and about him not being able to get about the pitch. Seeing your Celtic captain, I've seen it happen to Scott Brown a million times. People started to claim their legs are going. That's the pressure you're under, but I'm telling you now, Callum McGregor's probably in his peak condition, his career, I bet you. He's just mentally fatigued and he's still doing the job.
News is next. You'll miss nothing. We're back after this.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 1717 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Still Celtic 1 up after 17 minutes in Germany. Stuttgart 0, Celtic 1. The goal coming in 31 seconds. Luke McCowan. Charlie Mulgrew is here, the former Celtic star. Mark Guidi, Scotland's #1 pundit. Me, Paul Cooney. That's Paul Cooney. The budget's burst. Charlie, what's been happening during the news? Sinisalo involved?
Yeah, he made a nice save down to his left-hand side. Quite comfortable save, but nice and steady so far. Celtic look like I've got a good shape off the ball. They look a threat going forward. 17 minutes in, it feels like Celtic are pretty comfortable here. But listen, Stuttgart are a good side, and you'll imagine they'll have a spell in the game where they'll be threatening, and that's where we'll judge Sinisalo. He needs to have a steady game. If you're the number 2 goalkeeper, there's no often you get chances, and tonight's a chance for him to step in and show that he can he can be reliable and gain the trust of the manager. I think that's all he needs to do tonight.
Because the Livy game a while ago, Charlie, as you know, it just didn't go well for him. The Celtic fans had liked what they saw of him until then.
Yeah, well, I worry with the fact he's not really had more game time. Do you think, right, what is he doing in training? Because that's, you need to trust the coaches and the goalkeeping coach and what they see in him in training. And then he gets a chance in a game and he's not brilliant. Makes a sort of error in the game. Probably should save one and doesn't. And then, now he's got his chance again and he needs to step up and sort of have a steady night. He doesn't need to be spectacular making big. He just needs to be nice and steady, reliable. And I think he'll find himself in the team on Sunday if that's the case.
Martin O'Neill was asked yesterday when he arrived over in Germany, is it a weekend team tonight? And yes, it's changed, but he made a really good point.
A weekend side. Well, I mean, we've got very, very, very decent players here at the football club. So all players, I think, in the squad have all played in the first team. So it's not that this is not this whatever side we put out won't be a weekend team because the players are capable of playing. And there's been competition for places since I've come in, certainly before Christmas at the time, and since we've added Thomas and a few others to the squad, so there's good competition for places.
Interesting way to look at it, Mark, and it does, it resonates, the fact that there are some really good players here, although you've not seen much of them, but a chance there for Stuttgart past the post. What did you make of what the manager said?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. You look at that Celtic starting 11, I think there's 7 international players, and that's really good defending there from Yang, really good cover, and showed a lot of desire to get back into the back post and stop the attacker getting a clean strike and goal. That's one thing you've noticed tonight, but that Donovan is getting dragged right in, maybe just leaving a space at the back post. However, Celtic still a goal up, and Martin O'Neill's picked a team. The fact that he's respecting the tie, I think as well. He made a point of mentioning Celtic fans that have paid a lot of money. You can see they're in their numbers there, and that's why Callum McGregor's playing tonight. But to get back to Sinisalo, what Sinisalo wants to do coming out of this 90 minutes tonight, Paul, is make Martin O'Neill think about his decision about his goalkeeper, as in. So what? Because remember, Sinisalo played at Ibrox last season, albeit it was in a run of 5 or 6 games, and he was very, very comfortable. Yeah. I liked his performance, I liked his distribution, but you're right, the couple of times he's played this season, he's been a wee bit shaky. Even, I think you were there, Charlie, you covered it, the cup tie, Auchinleck, even once or twice, you're thinking, okay, you've got to be more convincing that. But it's all about tonight. The goalkeeping position is definitely up for grabs.
As we see a rerun of that Luke McCowan goal, 31 seconds, Charlie, what a way to start. Do you think they were surprised? And Danny Rowe watching it, is he learning that Celtic might just come at them right at the start?
Yeah, Sunday. I think McCowan as well is another player that comes into the Sinisalo bracket in terms of he feels there could be an opportunity in that midfield area with Engels being injured and Atati sort of no at it just now. And then he's went and scored a goal, so he'll see that as an opportunity. I think Sinisalo, there comes a point in every goalkeeper's career where they be number one somewhere, they're number 2, can they then be number 1, and it's maybe taking over for somebody that's experienced, that's maybe in a bad spell, and you need to step up and prove that you can be that guy, and then you then become somebody that can be trusted. But come Sunday, the interesting bit for me on Sunday, Paul, is whether Nadiri's fit and ready to go for Rangers, because then Danny Rowe can get back to that 4-4-2, kind of narrow midfielders. Olsen, I know he get jeered off at Livingston, but it's a chance for him to step up again. It's going to be a real difficult game. Mikey Moore's obviously in form as well. Rangers should be confident getting into the game, I'd imagine.
I think that a key one for me will be Romans get up and down that left hand side against Araujo. I mean, 2 really, really strong competitors. 2 players with really good engines, and that could be a key battle in the game.
Stand by for the VAR on that one. There's been so much said about. There's some great stuff from Martin O'Neill, which I'll play at half time, because Rangers and Celtic were united on Monday morning, not happy with the referees for different reasons, but at Livy as a chance there for Stuttgart, but it's just gone out of play, so it's going to be a free kick, a goal kick to Celtic. So neither of them was happy at the weekend.
Sorry, just seeing that there, I think Celtic, even in domestic games, you see the goal they concede against Hibs, they're very vulnerable back post behind the fullbacks, And what I don't like to see is, I know Yang done it there a wee bit, but I don't like to see it too often as the wingers matching fullbacks all the way back, because then you end up in a back six and sometimes you can get stuck in that. And I don't like to see it. I think that the organisation of the four needs to be better. They need to cover the areas, cover the centre of the goal, but be aware that the back post one is an option and you'll be able to adjust your feet to get there. But if Celtic are going to concede tonight or on Sunday, the back post area is looking a vulnerable spot.
Mark, I could hear you agree there.
Yeah. I said earlier, Donovan getting dragged over, as Charlie said. The opening goal, was it for Hibs? Tanecki having to try and mark, and he's not strong enough to cope with the defensive duties that he had. So that's why I think Martin O'Neill, Celtic might be tempted with a back five. Kind of just say to Rangers, okay, what can you do? We're not going to come at you and you're just going to pick us off in the counter. So I don't know. It might not be. Martin O'Neill might feel the best form of defence is attack. Because you might think that Rangers could be vulnerable at the back as well. You look at the goals that Hearts scored. Look at Livingston getting a couple of goals against as well. I don't know, Paul. That's what makes it so fascinating. And then the mindset as well. Well, how did Hearts get on Saturday? If Hearts win or Hearts don't win, could have a wee bearing on what the Celtic or the Rangers manager thinks about Sunday. But right now, Paul, if you're Hearts, your dream scenario, you beat Aberdeen at 3 o'clock on Saturday, then either way, one of your rivals, if not both of them, are going to drop serious points. And Sunday, I think Hearts are really, really, really in the driving seat. Right now, I have them as my favourites to win the title.
I think there's nothing better as well when you're playing the Saturday and you're leading at the top, because you further that gap and you sit in the Sunday and you can relax and it's up to over to Celtic and Rangers. I think the one time Hearts have played after Celtic, when Celtic scored that last minute winner at Kilmarnock, they played at Ibrox. They looked a bit deflated.
They did, didn't they?
100%.
Yeah, sure.
Both sets of players would have felt deflated, because you would have think Celtic are going to get beat 2-0 down at half time. They all of a sudden looks like they're going to draw and then they go and win the game. That's impossible not to feel that. You'd have been standing before the game in the changing room with the kit man giving you probably the updates on the results, and that comes through and it's a punch to the guts. It's a sore one. And Hearts have not felt that often this year. Now they're playing again at first on Saturday, and I think they'll enjoy the fact that they win it and they put the pressure right on Celtic and Rangers again, who are
of
both
course,
cancelling
Sunday.
each other out.
Well, it's Aberdeen they've got. You'd expect them to win, especially at Tynecastle. Charlie, what do you feel? James is on, Celtic fan, saying, what do you think, though, about if Celtic do go 5 at the back, play a 3? Wilfred Nancy, it didn't work for him.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it. I just think because the deal that was made for Nancy, and I think that to go back to that, although the way Mark describes the team is probably the best version of a back five with 2 full-backs in that wing-back area, so it's a lot more comfortable for them. I just don't think he'll upset the apple cart too much in terms of that, especially if they get a performance tonight in a 4. I think there's ways to defend in a back 4 that can be defensive as well. You can go with a 4, you can go a flat 5 in front of that, and you can go a 1. So it still keeps your back 4, but it keeps you pretty solid and compact if that's what they decide to do.
Who's your centre forward then? Who is your one up top? Who's your main number 9?
So I said the other day I would probably go with Vinchara, just for his sort of his power and his pace, and he's not just his aerial threat in the opposition box. I think for defensive set pieces he's a body again. He's like another centre half that can go and head the ball. But now that I see in the actual, if he can give us half an hour tonight and hold the ball up, then I think he puts himself, and I'd probably lean towards giving him a good chunk of the game. Now, whether he's fit enough to start, only Martin O'Neill knows that. So I'd probably look at Vinchara and look to bring Iheanacho on. Although Adamu has made a good start tonight, so he's doing his case no harm. But I'd probably stick to the back 4 and just kind of out of possession. Celtic need to improve. Their press isn't great. I think you can get after Rangers and press them, but it needs to be done properly so they don't play through you.
Do you start Maeda somewhere?
I would start Maeda in the left wing. I would start Maeda in the left wing.
It's his best position, isn't it?
Yeah. Listen, see, in an ideal world, Maeda, Hatate, you can name a few. Don't play them. Get players. There's no that luxury. I've got Hatate playing in my 11 that I would play in Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's like almost putting a name in where you're saying he's not trying a leg, or he's not feeling like he's he's up for the battle. But then who else do you put in? I mean, tonight McCowan's is putting up a strong fight for a game. I wouldn't have said that before tonight, but now he's looking like he could be ready for a place.
You've got McGregor and Oxlade-Chamberlain are going to start.
Yeah.
So you've really got one other, haven't you?
You've got one other, yeah.
Or is it Nygren?
So what I would do personally is I would play Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right hand side, and I would play McGregor, McCowan or Atati, and Nygren. And what I would do is I would push a Rojo up on the right hand side when Celtic have the ball up the right wing, and I'd bring Oxlade-Chamberlain inside, because Rangers are going to have 4 or 3 in there at times defending. You can make 4, and that can free up an extra man in that central area when McGregor's. People go up against McGregor and try and take him out of the game. If you've got an extra man in there, it's a bit harder to do that because you keep finding the spare man. So I would do that for Celtic.
Still 1-0 Celtic, Mark. We're heading for 29 minutes. How's it been the last few minutes?
I mean, Stuttgart have also come more into the game. But, I think we've watched many Celtic performances away from home. Well, here's a chance for Stuttgart.
1-1.
Yeah, good
Trusty
good
did already,
defensive
didn't
cover.
he?
Yeah, just enough to put him off,
Make it
and
difficult.
Sudasalo was sharp off his line. We've watched many performances from Celtic away from home for decades, to be honest, and they've just been cut open. But tonight they got that early goal. They've been comfortable. Stuttgart have obviously started to control more of the game, but you couldn't rule out Celtic getting another goal. Paul, they could just pick them off. Stuttgart look a wee bit shaky, but right now with 30 minutes on the clock, Celtic are 1 up, so they're making a tie of it, and it was a lovely goal from Luke McCowan.
And Charlie, it's probably not going to happen, but it would be extra time if they ended up. Yeah, do you know what I mean? 3-0. Extra time.
Yeah, but the comfortable thing you've got with that is you've got Nygren, Tierney, Scales, definitely.
Yeah.
Tenecte, potential, Arojo, Arthur, Vinchara, players like that are 5, 6, 7 players that have got a good chance of starting it at the weekend that are not involved in it. But it still takes its toll on people like McGregor and that. I'm going to stick to it, Paul. I don't think there's any benefit in getting through this, and it's impossible to sit here and possible for the players to stand on that pitch and try and not go through. They're going to give everything. You're a football player. That's what you're paid to do. You're on there to do it. I just think, from a fan's point of view, to concede Sunday and for the rest of the season with being so tight, your full focus has to be on that. Your energy, your mental energy, your physical energy, everything needs to go towards being successful in the league.
This time yesterday we heard from Derek McInnes, who was telling people that Sir Alex Ferguson has been giving him advice since he's the last manager to outside Celtic Rangers to lift the title in Scotland.
He knows my players. He's well aware of who's who. No, it's good that he's watching, but you know him. He's sharp as a tack and he's well aware of what's going on. It's nice that he's reached out to me and we've been speaking a lot recently.
And he's going to be in the Tynecastle boardroom at the weekend, a guest of Derek McInnes up against his beloved Aberdeen, where he is, the biggest figure ever in the football club, isn't he? At Pittodrie, Alec Ferguson. Everywhere, the statue, everything.
Incredible. Even just sometimes when you hear his stats, Sky mentioned that again, 13 titles, Paul, with Man United. Incredible. Well, I mean, just what a manager to go and do it at Aberdeen like that, and then to go and do it at Man United and rebuild that team 5 or 6 times, make some huge decisions, getting rid of Beckham, getting rid of Stam, getting rid of Keane, all these kind of things over the years, just quite incredible. It really has been. What a manager, and what a lift that must be for Derek McInnes or anyone to know that you've got him on your side ready to help.
Charlie, what's happening in Stuttgart?
Corner to Celtic, took shot by McCowan.
Edge of the box, plays it back to Callum McGregor. He's involved in everything, as you said earlier, isn't he? Callum McGregor's long ball.
Looks like a set piece to maybe walk.
Play, So 32 minutes gone, 1-0 to Celtic. Sriracha is somebody people have been talking about more and more. You'd expect him to play on Sunday, you think?
Not
sure.
I'm not sure.
No.
Tierney's obviously, if they play a back four, Tierney, you'd imagine will play, but Sriracha potentially can come on and play his part. He's somebody that you can sort of rely on, either at left back or one up or a bit further forward.
Charlie, so just because Paul's mentioned Sriracha there as part of a back four at left back, is there any way at all you could see Martin O'Neill putting Tierney and Scales together, bearing in mind that Tierney's played in the right hand side for Scotland, playing him as your right centre half
in a 4? Yeah, I think I would never rule that out. The only thing I would worry about then is set pieces. So Rangers are good for set pieces. They've got Fernandes that goes up, they've got Suter, they've got Raskin, just to name a few. And Celtic would then only have Scales, Vinchara potentially. Who else is there? Rojo can get his body in, but who's out and out going to go and challenge in the air? And I think it's a big part of Rangers' game. The set pieces, you imagine they'll play a part at the weekend. You need people that can head the ball. That's why people like Vinchara, they put themselves right at the front of the line in terms of game time, because it's not just what they do as a striker, it's how they defend the box as well. All these things need to be taken into consideration. Martin O'Neill likes to go zonal, so he needs 3 big headers of the ball to go and win it. Other than that, you don't really have it. So to take another one out and leave Tierney there is severely weakening yourselves from set pieces.
Mark, Celtic coming under a bit of pressure, as you would expect with 10 minutes to go till half time.
Yeah, but again, Sinisalo, nothing magnificent, but just good, clean hands, as you like to call it. Just a cutback from the byline. He's anticipating it, and he's get down, and he's smothered the ball. Look, right now, Paul, I'd be so tempted to give him the gloves for Sunday, but really tempted to give Sinisalo the gloves on Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. So far in this game, if he keeps going the way he's going, steady enough, even if he concedes a goal, he, as long as he's not at fault and doesn't make a mistake, I think he should have the gloves Sunday. Also, McCowan there showed a right burst of pace and broke away. He's looking like he's hungry for a game. Because
you said as well, Charlie, there, which is key when you're defending, and Celtic have a lot of defending to do on Sundays. You get ready to take this corner kick. Is Schmeichel very rarely comes off his line, and when he does come off his line, he's very rarely taking anything cleanly. So if you're going to be under the course, there was a chance for Maeda at the back post, although it might be a free kick, I think, on the goalkeeper. But Sinisalo, you're going to come off your line, you're going to actually help out your back 5 or 6 when we're defending, take a bit of pee off them. Again, that could come into the thinking.
Great chat. Adamu, was that a push there on the keeper?
I don't think it was a push. He stood his ground. The keepers get everything. Like he's just stood. He's just jumped. The keeper, he's not. Why do goalkeepers get so protected? It's if you jump with a player
Never
like that,
a foul.
Never a foul. He jumps with his arms down up beside the keeper and challenges him. Keepers get far too protected for me.
Mark, on behalf of keepers, do you want to say anything?
That was never a foul.
9. Never.
No, honestly,
know,
no.
sure.
I'm not saying that because it's
Celtic,
a Scottish team in Europe.
Yeah.
That's just not a foul. That's a referee that doesn't know the game.
For Rangers, Fernandes scored at the weekend, 2-0 down. And Barry was saying that the other night. Rangers, the away form's not been so good. Nobody saw that coming, but they came back to 2-2. And Fernandes talked about the character needed in this run-in.
100%. Look, there's 30 points to play for, and I feel like we've shown character to come back in many games this season, and we showed character to come back to this stage where we are in the season. And look, we've got to fight and keep hunting.
And the game itself?
Look, we were 2-0 down. We showed good fight to come back. I know we'll be disappointed about this, but look, there's 10 games to go and we just got to keep fighting.
And on that penalty claim?
Look, I haven't really seen it back myself personally, but look, the ref didn't give it as a penalty and we can't really focus on that. We know that we should have been better today and we just got to move on to the next.
Yeah, so much was said about it, Mark. You've been saying in the run-in, the refereeing and the VAR, well, the whole thing is going to be absolutely crucial. Martin O'Neill, I'm going to play it in about 5 minutes' time at half-time. Celtic are still 1-up. Well, there's 9 minutes to go, actually. Then I'll play it. But Rangers and Celtic United at the weekend, not happy with refereeing, and some of it's been atrocious.
For me, the overall standard of refereeing has been far from acceptable between VAR. My biggest gripe with VAR is they get involved far too often. They just get involved when it's not clear and obvious. It's happened far too often, and that's where the actual on-field officials need to stand up for themselves more and take on their colleagues, but they don't want to. It's too friendly, it's too nicey. But you've got to do what's right on the pitch. We've got our senior referees that are tried and tested. John Beaton's going to be in charge on Sunday. But I look at some of the performances up top, and John Beaton included. I don't know how, for the life of me, I don't know how John Beaton's performances recently between match referee and VAR, and he's had an injury as well, merits being in charge of Rangers Celtic on Sunday. For the life of me, he does not merit being in charge of the game. His performances haven't been good enough recently to be in charge of that game on Sunday. And then I look at the crop coming through. Is it Ryan Lee? Ryan Lee, who had the Rangers game on Sunday, who had Celtic Dundee in the Cup a couple of weeks ago. Duncan Nicholson, Paul, they're miles from it. They're miles from it, and they've been given games. And again, an explanation from Willie. They've been given games where there's titles in the line. Titles in the line. And then you get games at the bottom of the table where there's livelihoods at stake. And I looked at Ryan Lee's performance on Sunday and I said it. A referee watching his 90 minutes, that is a referee, Charlie, that does not know the game. That doesn't know the game, about how it ebb and flows, about what, you get that. That's a referee that's you'd like to think knows the rule book inside out, but you've also got to know the game. And there's far too many of our referees do not know the game.
Lack of common sense.
Yeah, and knowing the game is so key. It takes experience to a referee, or I've said before, if you're an ex-player, you can see what's a tackle, what's not a tackle, what should be let go, if I should stop this because then I can make the decision through VAR. There's so many wee bits and pieces. It's so clear and obvious for people that know the game, have played at any sort of level or understand the game, and it doesn't seem to be happening, or it doesn't happen anywhere near often enough where it's common sense. Like, for example, the Rangers decision with Mikey Moore, that should have been stopped and looked at. Somehow the referee should have thought, I need to stop that so I can then look at it, because there's definitely something in that, whether it's a red card for dangerous play, red card for last man, or a penalty.
Yeah.
So you need to, he must know that if I let this go, I can't go back. And and if he's not touched that ball, then it's a real bad decision, and he's not done it. It's not good enough because there's far too much at stake.
And what did you think? It should have been free kick, edge of the box?
I think it should have been a free kick at the edge of the box and his last man, or it's a dangerous tackle and he's off, because Mikey Moore, we look at the Hearts sending off against the Trusty sending off at Tynecastle. Now, if the Hearts player is running onto the ball, Kabori, and he's going to, that's considered a goal scoring opportunity. Mikey Moore's in his backswing, 18 yards for goal, in the centre of the goal, with his ability, that's surely a goal scoring opportunity.
Mark, it certainly was, wasn't it? Did you feel it was outside the box?
I think it's the only thing that's clear for me is it's outside the box, and I think you can debate whether it's red, whether it's yellow. They decided nothing. That they've had a good look at it. They've taken 2 or 3 minutes to come to a decision, and they've decided not to do anything because they feel the position that Mikey Moore's got himself. And again, that's where I would say, well, unless it's something really factual, don't overrule the referee. So they've decided not to get the referee involved, which I think's fine, because they don't think there's anything absolutely clear and obvious that he's missing. Charlie thinks it should be a red card. I've heard a couple others say it should be a red card. I've heard Chris Boyd said no, the match officials called right. So again, so there's it's subjective. It's open to opinion. For me, it's not cut and dried. So therefore, you would not ask the referee to get involved, because there's nothing clear and obvious about the decision he's made on the pitch. Because, for example, if it was a penalty, he's not called a penalty, you need to pull out, it's a pen. But it wasn't a pen. Contact's been outside the box. But because it wasn't a clear red card, they can't get involved. They can't get involved to say give him a yellow. They can only get involved to say, I'll give him a penalty or give him a red or give him both. So therefore, I think they got to the right decision on Sunday.
It's a real issue now, isn't it? And people are so fed up with it. As Celtic come forward, chance in the box if they win a corner. 2 minutes to go, Charlie, till half time. 3 minutes to go. Celtic still 1 up in a corner. Luke McCown's
had a right good first half. He's somebody that sees a chance to get in this midfield, and that's rightly so. That's how you get your chance. Now it's up to him to continue this for the rest of the game, and then be ready Sunday to make an impact. That's what's needed. Get players on the pitch that want to make an impact and give everything for the club, because it's a huge game on Sunday, and he looks like he's up for that fight. Corner comes in, Trusty with the header, another flick, he's offside. Mazur's flicked it, but
you can see that they don't have the height that the Stuttgart have, and I'm thinking about Rangers as well for Sunday.
It scares the life out of me when Celtic get corners and free kicks against. Part of his skills and Trusty, I don't see many that are willing to head the ball at the box. So as a real something Rangers will look at with their set piece coach. They've been really successful with set pieces. Ball goes back to Sinisalo. It's a nice touch there. It's definitely an area of concern for Sunday.
It's going to be some game, and then we'll know beforehand. Hearts, will they do it against Aberdeen? And what about Motherwell? We haven't mentioned them yet against Dundee
I've had
United.
a wee look at their points here, Paul. If they play, they've got 11 games left.
Yes.
So if they win the 11 games, they end up in 83 points. Right?
Yeah.
So if they win the 11 games, 5 of the games are against Celtic, Rangers or Hearts.
Yep.
So that leaves six other games. So if they win the 11 games, now listen, it's all lifts and buts, but if they win the 11 games, they'll finish in 83 points. That means Hearts lose to them twice, which means they would finish in 87 points.
Right.
If I'm right.
No.
What are Hearts on just now?
They're on 60.
Hearts can get to 90.
They can get to
Motherwell can get to 83.
Sorry, that would leave them in 84 points because they would lose to Motherwell twice.
But I think 83 will win you the league.
Aye.
If Motherwell win every game, they'll win the league.
Aye. It's crazy when you start to think about it, because then if they beat Celtic, if they beat Hearts twice, Hearts end up in 84 points. Rangers, that means they beat them once, they would end up in 80 points. So it's interesting. It's so, people say Motherwell can't do it, but
they can. Mark pointed it out Tuesday, in fact last week, and then Tuesday night after the win at the weekend, you said 80. If they win every game, 11 games, 33 points, they'd be on 83, and they would win the title because they're damaging everybody else. Then, and that's the fascinating thing that you're pointing out.
That would be unbelievable to see, wouldn't it?
Isn't it? You're playing the other 5. You're going to damage them if you're going to win it.
Do you think it's realistic they can win 11?
Would they rule it out? They're so relaxed. You know, they're no scraping by. They get an equaliser against Rangers with 10 men. They beat St Mirren 5-0, albeit St Mirren down to 10 men was never a red card. But they're so relaxed.
Yep.
And they're not conceding goals. They've conceded 18 goals, which is absolutely incredible. Testament to Paul McGinn and Stephen McDonnell.
The least goals in Europe, innit?
Aye,
PSG
Steve Wells.
next.
Yeah, so
18.
listen, it sounds, it is a tall order. But I have to be honest, if I had to pick one team out the 4, if you had to see me, one team out of those 4 is going to go unbeaten and win all their games, I would take Motherwell out of the 4.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. I look at Celtic, Rangers and Hearts every single week, and I do not fancy any of them to win.
Half time, Donovan's just been booked, but at half time, Celtic go in 1-up. Back in a moment.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Well, quite the night tonight. A special Willie Hockey joined us at the top of the show. Lifelong Celtic fan, huge supporter of the club and Scottish football. Remember, he and Sir Tom Hunter helped to Hampden Park, Mark, a few years ago to save it.
We were going to Murrayfield until Lord Hockey and Sir Tom Hunter stepped in, with all respect to Murrayfield, but they kept it the National Stadium in the Scotland games at Hampden Park.
And the news tonight about the Celtic, his initiative to try and get the fans, 54,000 season ticket holders, that if they sign up for this new, it's not a collective, it's the Season Tickets Alliance Trust. You came up with stat on that one. Yep. He's going to set up an office. They don't have to pay anything. And for every 10,000 fans that sign up for it, he'll put in £2 million.
Yeah, I mean, you think, just looking back at the bullet points on Willie's pledge at the start and his idea for Celtic, 4 or 5 different strands to it. Well, first of all, the potential to raise £10 million in the trust, in this new Season Ticket Alliance Trust stat. Potential to raise 10 million from that, which they will use to try and buy shares, if shares are available, which, might give them 4, 5, 6, 7%, might be able to go and grow it. So you've got that. All you have to do is, if you're a season ticket holder, is give your details, your phone number or your email address. Willie will set up an office, he'll staff it, he'll fund it, he'll run it, but take no money out. Longer term beyond that, the possibility of getting a representative from Stat onto the board. But that's really long term. But that's an objective, that's a goal to go for. Closer to home and more immediate, trying to bring, is the word that Willie kept using, harmony. Bring harmony back between the Celtic board and the fans. The collective giving them that voice, and Willie's now Stat people getting that voice as well. Get the Green Brigade back in as quickly as possible to reignite the atmosphere at Celtic Park as they go towards the title running. So you've got that as well. And again, further down the line, albeit it'll be the summer, try and help the club realise and have a level of what would you say, a level of acknowledgement from the hierarchy at Celtic that recruitment hasn't been good enough. It's key to success at every football club. So how do you go about being better at recruitment? Between your staff, between your data, between your technology, between your contacts, between your relationships with agents, with clubs, with players, whatever. So there's a lot of work to get into it. But at least Willie's put his head above the parapet and said, I want to come and help. He's not a saviour, he's not got a magic wand, but he wants to try and help. And I think, Paul, to be honest, the biggest task of the lot will be getting the supporters and the fans back on side together, because that will need Dermot Desmond's blessing to do that. Willie's not spoken to Dermot Desmond yet about his plan, but he's spoken to the board. Michael Nicholson, Brian Wilson are aware of his plans and his thoughts and his drive to try and make things better. But Dermot Desmond is going to have to buy into it all as well. So hopefully progress can be made. It's great to see somebody like Willie coming forward, and if there's anybody that can help bridge that gap, Paul, and bring people together, then it's Willie.
Great summary, Mark. Charlie's a Celtic fan as well as a former Celtic player. What do you feel?
I think it's brilliant for Willie. I think it's clear that he cares, and he was adamant he didn't want the Celtic fans to think it was anything to do with the board or it was an independent thing where the fans can have their say and have a percentage of. I was eager to know what percentage the fans can potentially have. Although it's impossible to say, but maybe down the line 10-15% of the club and the trust completely owned by the fans, and then to get somebody on the board is what it's all about. You mentioned Hearts and how successful they have been doing that by bringing Jamestown in. Wouldn't have been possible without the trust. Celtic fans deserve their say, and if there's a club that the fans wear the club in the heart in their sleeve, and wear the club close to their sort of their heart, then the Celtic fans do, and they deserve to have that sort of. That would be a great thing if the Celtic fans could sign up and make sure that happened.
And Willie's also going to get a Celtic legend, a proper Celtic legend who would have the support and the respect of every Celtic supporter in the land to help front this up and to help try and bring good out of something that's gone horribly wrong over the past 6 or 9 months.
Okay, you heard it here first on the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Celtic are 1 up at half time. We're back for the second half next.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Mark, Charlie, I've just hit you up on your Insta there. I see Willie's interview earlier on is going far and wide at the moment. So
I've already texted about it. As well. I'm not quite on Instagram, but I've had a few texts, a lot of really good positive feedback about Willie's plans for the club and the fans.
Charlie, for Celtic just now, as soon as this game's over, at least it's an early kick-off tonight, and they'll head back, I would imagine, to Glasgow this evening and get ready, because the game's only, 66 hours away?
Yeah, it'll just recovery as soon as they get back tonight. Into beds, probably get in tomorrow, bit of a cool down, plenty of rest, plenty of food, and just be ready for Sunday's game. These more than the physical side, mentally these games drain you, so it's good to see a few players getting a rest, and maybe at some point McGregor might come off tonight just to definitely give him a wee bit extra. I'm adamant on that one. I think he needs he needs rest.
Obviously, unless if Celtic score inside the first 15 minutes and you think, oh my goodness, it's game on. But if they don't, you take Callum McGregor off for sure. I think you give him 15 more minutes. If it's still 1-0 or it's 1 each or whatever, get him off. If it's 2-0, you need to keep him on and push for the third.
Scotland's historic World Cup games, which we're all looking forward to, they're going to be showing us at the Hydro. Did you see that? It just came out today in the news. Late, that's a late show at the Hydro though, isn't it? But would you go and I think so, wasn't it?
Next best thing, isn't it? Good atmosphere there.
Yeah. Yep. Mark, 10,000-12,000 in the Hydro?
Oh, listen, I love the Hydro. Great venue, great people there. Enjoyed many a night at the Hydro. But no, I won't be going to the Hydro for that. But it'll be jam-packed, it'll sell out.
You've been there to see some of your favourite artists there? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, over the years I've seen a few good gigs in there.
Yeah.
Paul loved
Vera
it.
Lynn, did she play there? Charlie's opened
it.
Simple Minds and all that, yeah.
Who did I see was my bet? I
Who
think
have
my
you seen
best
there?
would be George Michael.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
George Michael
amazing.
there
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
brilliant. I've
Was
seen
that with
them.
the orchestra he played there?
Oh, it was
the
brilliant.
Symphonica?
Yeah, it was great. George Michael, Lionel Richie,
Yeah.
Deacon Blue. Oh, aye. There's been a few good ones.
Charlie has a collection of records. What about you?
Who I saw you two there? Saw you two.
Was it a beautiful day?
It was beautiful. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Who
else have you
else I
seen?
saw? Fleetwood Mac.
Aye, yeah. Did you go your own way?
Aye.
That's terrible, isn't it? Yeah.
Prince.
Dreams?
Prince.
Oh,
Saw Prince
no
there
way.
before he passed. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never saw Prince.
Brilliant. He was.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Charlie, did you see Prince? No.
Who else did I see? Diana Ross.
Yeah.
Diana Ross. There.
You had a few that night when you were upside
Claws.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
A runaway.
It was-
Yeah.
it was great.
Yep, they're brilliant.
Oh,
It's a great
Alanis
thing.
Morissette was a good one.
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Teams are back out there just looking, obviously, the red and white there of Stuttgart.
Must be McCowan
Celtic,
back on.
yeah, McCowan was down just lacing up the boots, and he's the man that scored in 31 seconds, Charlie. What a start. And at half time, Celtic 1 up. You're panicking
Yeah.
in case it goes to.
No, listen,
No.
it's a great showing
Yeah.
a good bit of fight here. So a lot of a few players putting their best foot forward to get in the team on Sunday, and yeah, they probably. But I've been saying at half time, getting an early goal here, stay in the game, good performance, and you never know. Couple of changes for Stuttgart though. They're obviously not happy with the way the first half went.
Yeah, they have made a couple of changes there. I said we would hear from Martin O'Neill speaking about the Austin Trustee appeal and the fact that it was dismissed. What did he make of the whole thing?
I did the interview after the game, and someone asked me, were we going to appeal it? And I thought, well, I'm really not sure about it, but the appeals are, in this day and age, seemingly worthless. That's not actually been the case. But then when I get the information coming back from the club and what has been said in VAR, then I thought, yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you why. Because the referee, as he told me on Saturday, has seen the incident. It's not as if he hasn't seen it. He's watching it. And when he's asked by a very excited man in VAR saying, delay, and they asked him and he said, no, it's nothing. He said, I'm just going to have a word with the players. And then he's has to trot over then to change his mind. It's ridiculous. In time, we won't need a referee. VAR will do it from wherever they're doing it from, because that's what they did. So the referee is what? So they've asked the referee to overturn something that he's actually seen. He's seen it. It's not as if he missed the incident. Of course, that would be a different issue. And he said, and he actually says, it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm going to have a word with the players. And so I've got a player who's missed 3 games. It's such a nonsense. I'm all on for people have missed something dramatic and in a game that constitutes something that they should have a look at. But when a referee sees the incident himself, then what he's been asked to do is, no, you didn't see that. You didn't see that. You saw something else. That's got to be debilitating for a referee. It's got to be.
Wow, that was so strong, Martin, and he'll come to that in a moment. Celtic are still 1 up, but only just, Mark, a few moments ago. Chance there for Stuttgart.
Yeah, but what a start from them. 15 seconds, Paul, into the second half. They've missed a sitter. They really should have made it 1-1. An absolute sitter. Got to the byline, cut back. The guy only has to beat Sinisalo and he fluffs his line. So a real let off there for Celtic. But looking at Stuttgart, there, Paul, it's almost like they're going 5 up top. You know, they're attacking there and just bodies flooding into the box. So they clearly want to get the next goal, and they feel if they get the next goal, it will kill the tie. It will kill off any hope that Celtic have. Because if Celtic go 2 up, then Stuttgart are going to be backs to the wall.
Yeah, it's the boy Furage have brought on. He's brought him left wing, and he just went by. There he's on the ball again. He looks lively. He went by his first touch of the ball, took the ball down outside of Donovan, looks pacey, and cuts it back. Lovely. yeah, they've started really well second half.
Yeah, Furich, he came on for Jamie Llewellyn, so well spotted, and he's making a difference, but still well 1-0 Celtic. We'll just see this, another corner kick, as you mentioned, Charlie, then we'll talk about Martin Neal's powerful interview.
Bit Ivan Drago about him, isn't there? The boy taking the corner.
Yeah. Let's hope not. But let's see what happens here. It's going to be right-footed. It's on TNT Sports. I see Joe Hart is the commentator as the ball comes into the far post. Sinisalo, he's doing.
Called it, Mark. Yeah, brilliant. Safe pair of hands there. Mark said it earlier. A goalkeeper to come for the balls like another defender in there. He done well there. Schmeichel doesn't tend to come off his line. Again, Sinisalo, steady enough. Came for it. Nice and calm. Collected it. Brilliant.
Defender's dream, Charlie. If you're a centre half defending a set piece, that's your dream scenario. Goalkeeper comes, get out my way. It's my ball and a lovely clean pair of hands under pressure.
What about those comments from Martin O'Neill? I mean, soon they'll do away with referees. It'll all be done from, the bunker or whatever. What did you make of it?
I mean, I don't see anything, but genuinely, see, within 10 years, Paul, I wouldn't be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's done, because you could call it the way the game would go. You can understand his frustrations, and again, it comes back to the point about VAR wanting to get involved when a referee said, no, actually, I've seen it, I'm going to deal with it, I'm fine. And it must be frustrating for any manager when they see VAR refereeing situations that are it. But again, that comes back to my point too. Referees, actual on-field referees, who are the most important guys, ultimately they have the final decision, regardless of what VAR asks them to look at or do. They have the final decision. They are the power bearers on the field, and yet they are so weak at times. It's infuriating.
But also, Mark, you told us something that I didn't know, that I knew they're assessed, but they're marked down if they get it wrong. But if they leave it to VAR, then they don't lose any points whatsoever. And you can understand in some ways then, they're going to do the punches back. Oh, not for me. Leave it to VAR.
Yeah, so I mean, you could maybe say, like, the match referee on Sunday, Ryan Lee, that the controversial incident right at the end with Mikey Moore. If he calls something, Paul, so let's just say he points to a penalty kick and red cards, Cammy Care.
Yep.
Red cards, Cammy Care. It then goes to VAR review and say, actually, Ryan, it's not a penalty and it's not a red card. He's marked down because he made a wrong call in live play. He automatically loses a mark. However, if he does nothing and VAR pick up something that he's missed, he doesn't get marked down.
So he's been rewarded for missing things.
That's it. Yep.
Which doesn't make sense. Martin Neal's comments are bang on as well. It seems that we don't use, the referees are not clear on how to use VAR, whether you're refereeing it or whether the person in the VAR room is refereeing it, and there's so many blurred lines with decisions, Paul. It can't continue to be like that. You'd be better off getting rid of VAR and letting the referee make mistakes, human error, because it's
a Celtic come on the charge down the left, Maeda, but what happened there?
Just something. I tell you what, Yang was bursting a gut to get into that back post as well to give Maeda an option. Good defending by Stuttgart, to be fair. He's matched them, but that's good to see. Celtic 6 minutes into the second half, they survived that wee mini storm, still 1 goal ahead, and they've got a corner kick.
It's the best I've saw Celtic in a few weeks with all the changes.
And Sinisalo's distribution, as Celtic come forward, it's headed away still. Chance way over the top.
Could have taken a touch here, Charlie. Couldn't have brought it down and ended a strike.
That's wasteful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it really was. He had time to take a touch there and bring that down and just steady himself.
But he blasted it way over the top. Sinisalo's distribution to me looks good.
He looks very steady, Paul. He's doing the simple things really well. He's not taking any chances, playing risky for the back like we saw with Schmeichel last week. He's kicking it when he needs to kick it. He's coming out and showing safe hands. He's made saves when he needs to make saves. Steady performance.
Archie's on saying, guys, Hearts, he thinks they're going to win at the weekend. Do you agree? Hearts to beat Aberdeen. What do you reckon?
It's hard to see past them, Paul. But it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. It'll be a tight game. You can guarantee that. They're not having 8, 9, 10 shots in goal and dominating games. They're being efficient with the chances they get. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if they won. And on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop points. It's like Celtic, Rangers and Hearts just now. I'm not confident in all their chances of winning games. They're picking up 3 points.
Celtic on the charge again.
Yeah, another chance. Cut back, goalkeepers smothered it, but that's a chance for Celtic. Got to the byline well. They're really good link-up plays, 5 or 6 passes involved, but unfortunately just couldn't get it over the line. But again, they'll take a lot of encouragement from that.
Hearts Aberdeen, Mark, scoreline, what do you think?
Hearts 2, Aberdeen 0.
Yeah, Charlie, you're going for Hearts?
I'm going to go one each, Paul.
Or going for one each, yeah, you don't fancy buying
I
drink?
don't know if it's my heart or my head that's talking.
Yeah, Hearts. Motherwell Dundee United, what do you think?
2-1 Motherwell.
2-1 for the Well, who continue. There'll be 10 games after that. Charlie, what do you reckon?
1-0 Motherwell.
1-0 to the Well. Falkirk Kilmarnock, what do you feel?
Desmond, 2-2 for me.
2-2. And Charlie, what about Dundee against Hibs?
Dundee against Hibs will be 2-1 Hibs.
And Mark for St Mirren at Livy. They need to get the points, your old club.
I'm going to go 3-2 Livy.
Wow. 3-2 Livy, only their second win of the season. And then Sunday, there's only a minute and a half left with us just now. Corner kick coming up, you know what's coming. Still 1-0 Celtic. Charlie, so far, second half, they started well. Celtic coming back into it, but the crowd now right up for it. They've won a corner.
Regardless what happens now, Paul, it's been a right strong performance for Celtic and a good reaction for the team and the boys that are trying to make their way into the squad for Sunday. So far it's been good. Defended that well, good header.
Headed away there. So, scoreline as the ball comes back in, headed away again. Is that Trusty, of course, who'll be out for the Rangers game as we stay with it as Stuttgart come forward. Oh, just past the post. Charlie, scoreline, what do you reckon? Rangers Celtic.
Oh man, it's need to toss a coin here. I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-2 draw, Paul.
Right. Honestly, you're going for the draw?
I'm going for 2 each draw, I'm going for 2 each draw. I don't, honestly,
All right.
I think Rangers are favourites, but it wouldn't surprise me. I've been to Ibrox before, not been given a prayer. We won 2-0, 2 each.
Mark, as Tony Rawson comes on, Celtic making some changes, that Luke McCown going off.
Chivinchara coming on as well, 2 changes for Celtic. Big game on Sunday, Paul. No sit in the fence. I like to see the teams. Once I see the starting 11s, I could give it a better call. But right now, 1-1.
1-1. Donovan going off there and Adamu going off, I think, as well. Listen, thank you. Thanks to Willie Hockey for joining us early in the programme as well. Charlie, we'll see you Monday. Mark, we'll see you early next week as well. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, Paul.
Tonight,
Cheers, Paul.
We'll be back tomorrow night. Barry Ferguson will be here along with Darren O'Dea. We'll be here live at 5.